live here. There's one. Let's go to Instagram. Come on now. And I got to push everything like 3 times. Come on, Instagram. Almost. There's Instagram, Facebook. Just publish the post. There's Facebook. And now X. And there's that. All right. So this trip actually just happened last week.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Whew, that's good because our trips are usually like, forever ago. So that's awesome. Cool. Okay. So I think we are set. Let's see here. Yep. I see that L Flacco 212 is watching over on Instagram. So we're live there. I see people are tuning out on Facebook. Ryan Kilbert's over there. Hello, Ryan. All right. 2698. My voice is gone today, but what are we going to do? Too much talking. My wife's probably like, shut up. All right, here we go. So you go by Rebecca or Becca?
Happy with either. Becca works.
Becca, you call it. It's your show. All right. Hey, Mackenzie. And hello. All right. Okay, here we go. Oops, I got to change that to 44.1. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 2698 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you and happy Memorial Day to everybody here in the United States of America. Take a few moments today as we do get out there, grill those hamburgers and hot dogs and, again, celebrate the unofficial start to summer, to remember those folks who gave the ultimate sacrifice over the years to give us the great country that we have. Just take some time there and pass that information on to the younger generation. Let them know why we celebrate Memorial Day. Great time to reflect on that. And I just found out in the pre-show, no kidding, that today is also a bank holiday over in the UK, because apparently you guys get them about every third Monday, which that means I hope last night we had a big UK contingent for the live call-in show. I'm looking at you over there, all the Europeans. That was fun. So I'm sure it was. So we're having a good time. Again, another guest over in the UK. I love this. This show is international. Never thought it would be. For a kid from Missouri, I cannot tell you how I'm living my dream with every one of these podcasts. Staying up late with us today to talk about a trip that just happened just a brief 2 weeks ago. We're talking to listener Becca. Becca, thanks for hanging out with us and staying up very late over in the UK. What's going on?
No, thank you for having me on, Mike. I've been a fan of the podcast since, I think, 2018. So it's really exciting to finally get to do a trip report.
It's so scary because you say 2018. I'm like, wow, you just started listening. And that's almost like 7 or 8 years ago now, because that was 10 years into the podcast. It's so scary. Oh my gosh. But thank you for listening. I love it. Let me ask you that. I never asked this question, but how'd you find the show? I'm kind of curious about that.
So my dad is a really big Disney parks and Disney podcasts fan. So I think he's been listening probably since close to the start. So yeah, that's how I found the podcast.
Super cool. That's just, it blows me away because I'm sitting here literally in my daughter's old bedroom in the basement in the middle of the United States in Missouri. And here we are talking Disney, 2 different continents. Again, technology is amazing. And I love that Disney can bring friends together like nothing else. It's just, it's an amazing thing. So excited to have you on the show. We're going to get to talk about my favorite. I think it's kind of, I don't know if it's my favorite resort, but it's kind of like my all-star resort. And I'm not talking about the all-stars like sports, music, and movies. It just kind of, it just always works for me. And it's Coronado Springs, where you stayed here recently. But before we dive into that, because you had a bigger trip and you had some circumstances that I think will help other listeners, tell us about your Disney fandom over in the UK. You mentioned your dad's a Disney fan. How did you grow up Disney? How did you get bit by the bug that you're here on the show today?
Yeah, so I think my dad sounds like he's probably quite similar to you in that he didn't go to the parks growing up, but got to do a trip as an adult and kind of fell in love with them. So he trained us up to be Disney fans pretty young. So I think I went on my first trip at 3 to Disney World, and then we went every 5 years or so growing up. Obviously, it's a long way, but we did sort of 2 or 3 weeks at a time, so really made the most of it, and got to go to Disneyland Paris in between as well. So yeah, I've grown up being a Disney Parks fan. And then we did a trip for his 60th birthday for marathon weekend. So we all did the half marathon together in 2018. And that really started the fandom for me. So that's when I got into Disney podcasts and really got into the parks there. And this is the first time that I've managed to get back to Walt Disney World since.
So let me ask you a couple questions about some of those previous trips, because I'm always curious about that. So give me a reflection on that, because I'm a runner, right? I'm sitting here rocking today. It's a little bit cooler. I mean, even though it is the unofficial start of summer, we got a little cool front that came through here in the Midwest. Rocking the Dopey Challenge hoodie, which I love. Thanks to Dr. Young out on the West Coast who helped me get this. I appreciate that internally. But what memory do you have from that Run Disney weekend, that marathon weekend? Because those are such different weekends, but getting to do that with your family, with your dad. I mean, do you still look back on that 2018 trip very fondly? I mean, that seems like it'd be a really cool thing.
Yeah, we talked about it quite a lot. It was really great. So we went as part of quite a big family group. So my aunt, my dad's sister and her family came, as well as my mom, my sister, my husband, and the 5 of us ran the half together. I remember getting up really early and it being freezing. So that bit wasn't great. But yeah, just the experience of getting to run through the parks was amazing. Even on this trip, as we drove through to the Magic Kingdom, thinking we ran through that was amazing. So yeah, I mean, I think even if you're not a runner, even if you want to just do the 5K, walk it, it's such a cool experience.
I agree with you 100% that, I've done those races many times at this point, but my favorite race weekend was 2017 for me. And it's the time I did the Dopey Challenge with my daughter and Scott. We did it all together. We did all 4 races all together. And it was just that we did them together. It's that we were there suffering, through the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon. We did the half marathon unofficially, because that's the year that it got rained out.
We did it the year afterwards, and we were kind of worried that we might end up having to do a full if it got rained out.
Right. It's one of those things but it had a story, right? I would not remember the 2017 half marathon if not for that. That medal is still one of my favorite medals. I remember it's got like an X on it because it had a story behind it, but it was because of the friends I was with. Scott's like my brother. My daughter ran it with me. She's never done one since. I mean, it must have, it really left an impression with her, because we fought a little bit in the full marathon day, because we were like, we are not quitting. We're not getting slow. But it was a story, and it was a memory. And that's kind of what Disney's all about. And you're right. Like now when I ride around on the buses, like if we're taking a bus from Pop Century, like I said, to the Magic Kingdom, I'll point to my wife, go down World Drive. Like I've run down this road a bunch of times, like right there. She's like, yes, we know.
The other really cool thing we did in that year, because I think all Run Disney fans know that if there's an opportunity to get an extra medal, you've got to do it. Yes. So we did the Castle to Chateau challenge as well. So we did the Paris half marathon in the same year, which was also great. And yeah, another medal. So that was really cool.
See, I got to admit, I don't know if I said this. I think I've said this on show. I don't have a passport. So I'm kind of limited when it comes to those kind of things. I am going to get one. My wife is now officially, as of this show, retired. She's working on the passports for us. So we are going to get to travel now internationally, hopefully. So yeah, we're going to be working on that stuff. But yeah, as of this recording, do not have a passport. So kind of hard to do things like that at this point. But yeah, if Disney opens that kind of opportunity back up, I would love to be able to expand my horizons other than like the Castaway Key 5K. That's about as international as I got. Okay, so I love this though. So let me ask you one other thing, kind of tangentially, with Disney. Universal announced they're going to build kind of a resort in the UK. Are you any kind of Universal fan? Are you just strictly Disney? Or are you excited for that opportunity being closer to home? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I'm more of a Disney fan, but I have been to Universal on previous trips. So yeah, would definitely be excited to go. And we don't have anything on the scale of Disney or Universal in the UK. Like we have theme parks, but it's just not on the same level, just little things like the queues have no theming, like it's not immersive in the same way. So no, I think it's really cool that we're gonna finally get something like that here.
It does look really neat. I mean, right outside of London. It looks like it's easily accessible by train, and
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for sure for our UK friends. So I'm excited for that. All right, so let's jump into this trip. So tell us how this trip came about, because it looks like it was a work-related trip, possibly. Is that how it came about? Is that right?
No, so we originally were just booking kind of a beach vacation in the Caribbean. So we went to the Dominican Republic. But then we decided to expand the trip. We wanted to do a sort of city break element. So we added Miami and the Keys. And then at that point, as a Disney fan, I'm thinking, I can't go to Florida and not get to Walt Disney World. So that's when I managed to do some Disney math and figured out that the flights to MCO were a lot cheaper than the Miami flights. So I managed to persuade my husband to add 4 days at Disney World. He is a Disney fan too, but he isn't really a fan of the rides. Like anything more intense than Big Thunder Mountain would make him feel sick. So he really liked the group trip that we did, because if I wanted to go and do something more intense, he'd be able to hang out with someone else. So I think he had some reservations about going on a trip, just the two of us. But yeah, I managed to persuade him, and we kind of agreed that we'd do maybe a lower key trip and focus on resorts and not be in the parks from rope drop until the end of the day.
Yeah, it's one of those things, especially with couples trips, right? It's a big compromise, because you're right. I mean, group trips give you the opportunity, like you can split up, divide and conquer, and like this group of 4 or 5 can go do, like I said, I mean, we're the crazy folks. We're going to go do Cosmic Rewind, and everybody else can hang out and go get a bum coochkin, over in Connections or something like that. But if you're a couple, usually you want to stay together for the most part, and you do have to kind of decide, we're going to chill out this trip. We're going to take it slower. We're going to go rope drop to park close. It's one of those things. So that's fun conversation that you had.
Yeah,
so
and I knew he would enjoy it. By the time we got there, he was asking, is there any way we can extend the Disney World days?
Nice.
I knew he'd be into it when he got there.
I love it. Okay, that's a good sign. That's a good sign right there. So let me ask you in the pre-planning, like how I just love hearing this stuff, because like we're all different levels of insane when it comes to Disney planning and stuff. What's your level of planning? Like, are you a spreadsheet person? Are you somebody who's always crunching the numbers, who's always going on the websites and checking park hours and all that? Like, how far out did you start putting things together? You a last minute person? Like, where do you fall on the scale of putting this trip together?
Kind of in the middle. We sort of talked about the things that we enjoyed from last time and any ideas that we really wanted. And then I diarised at 60 days and had the point where I knew I needed to book them. So yeah, we didn't do it hour by hour or anything, but had a rough plan going in of what we wanted to do.
Yeah, because I've had guests that have sent me their spreadsheets like color coded and time stamped, and like they've had timestamps for like restroom breaks. I'm like, oh man, that's
That's
a lot.
intense.
I'm like, I don't know myself that well, but that's the thing. Seriously, but I mean, it's like they want to have a plan, and it's like that's how some people roll. I'm totally the opposite, right? I just go down there. I don't have an ADR, most of the time when I roll, and they're like, "You're a travel agent, you don't have an ADR." I'm like, "Yeah, just that's my life." Like, I'm super laid back, but there's it takes different kind of people to make life exciting. But I learn from everybody. That's why I love these Monday shows, because I get a nugget from every guest that comes on, and it's so fun for me. So you guys stayed at Coronado. Of all the resorts you could pick, it's right in the middle. I mean, and to me, I've always said this, I think it's kind of the best value. It's kind of like, it's the moderate. You guys were in the tower too, so it feels deluxe in the moderate category. Great location, but you had all the choices. So why Coronado? Like, why'd you pick it?
So I really love resorts. But when we went for my dad's 60th, it was over New Year's. It was obviously an expensive trip. So we went for a value and stayed in Art of Animation. And it was really great. But I really wanted to show Mike, my husband, maybe a deluxe resort, because I knew he'd really like that experience. Mm-hmm. So I started off looking at some of the deluxe resorts, kind of discounted Yacht and Beach Club because of the Stormalong Bay refurb. We were looking at Animal Kingdom Lodge for a while, and I was about to book it, but then I found a really good deal for the Coronado Tower. So I thought, actually, some of the money we save on that, we can, spend in the parks. And felt like the podcast had encouraged me to go for Coronado. And especially felt like the tower, like you say, it feels really deluxe, doesn't feel like a compromise. So we were really happy that we went for Coronado. It's so nice, especially the tower feels really luxurious, even though it's a moderate.
Yeah, it's super. I think it's a super good value. Like, I mean, you can usually catch a good discount on it most of the time too. It's got great dining on site. The dig site pool's a great area with a nice little pool bar. I just love the vibe of it. I love the background music. It was just, you got Hyatt Grills, one of my favorite restaurants. If it had the Skyliner, it would be everything. But good location, bus service is pretty good there, so I don't mind. I mean, you guys were there, as a couple. What about amenities there? I mean, did you enjoy like Barcelona Lounge? Do you have any dining there? What'd you think?
Yeah, we went to the Dahlia Lounge on our first night, which was really great. The sliders there were amazing. We got straight off the plane, dumped our bags in our room, and then went straight there, really. So that worked out really well. Really good selection of drinks and quite a nice relaxed vibe. But then you've got the terrace there as well, so you can sit outside. So that was a really nice spot. On our first day, because we'd flown in quite late, we sort of had a relaxed start and went to the dig site pool, which is a really great pool.
It is.
It was Cinco de Mayo, so we had margaritas at like 11 o'clock on our first day at the pool.
That's vacation right there. That's what I'm talking about. And I mean, I'm going there. I'm going down for something with Pam for the agency. We're staying at the Contemporary for just 2 nights, but I'm going the night before just so I'm there. And of course, I booked Coronado for the night before and just getting there, like, in the evening. But I'll probably grab something I go to Rick's. That's my place. I'll grab like a steak sandwich or something for dinner. Just hang out at the pool for like an hour and go to bed. It's kind of great. Oh, I just love walking on the boardwalks out there by Three Bridges. So it's so I have so many pictures on my phone of Coronado Springs. It's unbelievable. Like, I can't stop taking the pictures of that place. It's just amazing. All right, so let's jump into talking about kind of how the trip unfolded. So give us kind of a little play by play. You get there, you have the long flight. How does that affect how you get because you said you kind of drop your bags, chilled out at the resort. Does it take you a little bit to catch up coming over? Like, how do you get rolling with the trip?
Yeah, we're lucky because we're going west
Yeah, that's
instead of
true.
east when we fly over. So it wasn't so bad in terms of jet lag. We just stayed up until the time we should be going to bed in Florida, and that worked out well. But yeah, I was glad that we planned for day one to have a relaxed morning. We left it open. We thought maybe we'd go to Disney Springs or go to the pool. But yeah, we ended up going to the pool, and that was quite nice because we could kind of go at our own pace. Ahead of the trip, there was a bit of a curveball in that I sprained my ankle 2 days before we were due to fly. Yeah, was not great timing. When I was waiting for the X-ray, I was thinking, please tell me it's not broken. The trip's about to be over.
You've just given every listener like their worst nightmare that has a trip plan for the next 6 months, including me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Me, who's on a treadmill every single morning, who's got a cruise planned in like 45 days.
Yeah, so that was not great timing. And we had to modify plans a bit, but actually to reassure everyone, we did have a really great trip.
I'll make it. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, it worked out okay. But yeah, we had to maybe change the pace a little bit. So even on night one, I was originally thinking, oh, it'd be great to go to Three Bridges, but I really couldn't face hobbling over there on my crutches. So that's why we ended up in the Dali Lounge, because we just had to get the lift up, and that worked out.
It's too far. That's a long. If it was only one bridge, maybe two, but three.
Yeah.
No way, not three. Oh, I get it. So let me ask you about that though, to kind of so we don't forget this and like gloss over it and miss out, because I mean it's an opportunity to learn, and for folks that somebody's going to be in this pickle. We've done 2,800 episodes. Somebody's going to catch a stray here eventually. It's going to be me. I just know because I'm super klutzy.
I hope not.
I get on the treadmill at 5 a.m. I'm half asleep. It's a miracle it hasn't happened before. Like, what did you learn from the experience? Because again, it's something you're instantly thrown into, right? I mean, you had this was, it's one of those things like, oh, I twist my ankle. Like, it's like you've like had a plan for it. It's thrown upon you. And all of a sudden you're going to Walt Disney World in like 48 hours. But you got to figure this out instantly, and then on the fly kind of modify what you're doing. So what was the lesson? What were the things you learned that you could pass on to the audience that kind of reassure anybody that comes into the situation?
Yeah. So, I feel like I knew going in that Disney are really good in terms of accessibility for guests. So I felt like it would be okay, but had to do some research. I actually got some really good tips from the clubhouse on the Discord. So I decided I wanted to do an ECV rental because we all know how far you walk.
Yes.
In the parks. So I didn't think that was going to work on crutches. And there were some really good tips for external companies, which is really good if you need the ECV to get around your resort. But I knew I'd have my crutches and that would be okay. And the physio told me to try and walk a little bit. So I ended up using the Disney rental service, which was really great. So I think it's just under $70 for a day. So it's not ideal. It's an extra expense to the trip, but it was definitely worth it. I think the great thing about their rental service is that they handle all the charging, all the maintenance, whereas if you rent externally, you need to charge it in your room overnight and worry about that. So that was a really good plus of their service. And you just pay once for the day. So if you want to park hop, you keep your receipt and you can just go to the desk at the next park and get a rental from there, so you don't have to pay anything else. And it worked out really well. You park it in the stroller parking area, so I'd kind of drive the ECV to a land and then get out and kind of hobble around. But also all of the queues are accessible, so some of the queues I drove around, and it worked out really well.
So you found it, because obviously you didn't have a whole lot of experience driving one of these, but you're driving it in one of the most densely populated areas with
Yeah,
kids with balloons, and kids jutting out here. And I mean, I see people driving these around all the time, right? I mean, I've been my heels have been clipped. I mean, everybody's heels have been clipped by people in ECVs. It's just there's people on top of people in these theme parks. I mean, it's nobody's fault. Just it's so dense. Everybody's on top of each other. So, but, I mean, you found it as a first time driver, not too difficult to
it
maneuver.
was okay. The cast members were really great. So when we rented, I said to them, "I've never driven one of these before.
That's
I don't know what I'm
I'd
doing."
help you if I'm in one because I'm I don't know, man. It made me nervous just because there's so many people everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
luckily, I've heard the Disney ones are slower, so that was good. So it wasn't really going that
Whoa,
far.
whoa.
But yeah, it was okay. The only sticky situation I got into was in the Toy Story Mania queue. I kind of didn't judge the turn right and got stuck.
Oh,
So
no.
then when you reverse, it really loudly beeps. So it's like everyone in this queue can see me trying to maneuver out of this.
See, what I'd quickly do is jump off on my one good leg and make my husband get on it and be like, "Look,
Yeah.
he got this thing wedged. He got this thing wedged." And then totally hang it on my significant other. That's why my wife loves me because I make her do it. It's good to know, though. I love this. That's reassuring for everybody gets in a pickle like this. All right, so let's talk about times in the theme park. So you said you were going to kind of, go down the middle there for your husband, kind of have a middle of the road kind of trip, maybe not have your hair on fire the whole time. So how did it work out? Just give us some highlights because you did some after hours events, I think, and that kind of stuff. So give us some of the things that stood out for theme park times.
Yeah, so because we knew that we had limited time, especially for us when we're used to going for 1-2 weeks at a time when you come over from the UK. So we decided to do the Magic Kingdom after hours to try and just knock out everything we wanted to do in the Magic Kingdom, which was great. So similar to the parties, you can get in from 7 p.m. and then the party is 10 to 1 a.m. So it's a long night. But it's really great. So you can watch like the normal happily ever after fireworks. And then they also do a Disney Enchantment show during the after hours, which was amazing. Maybe it's a hot take, but I loved it even more than Happily Ever After.
I used to like that show. I like that show as well. When it was out, I think I like Happily Ever After better, but I didn't hate Enchantment. I was there when it debuted, and I thought that's a good show. I did like that show because I'm not a big fan of some nighttime shows, but I did like that one. Yeah, so I'm glad.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe also because I think the best thing about the after hours was how few people are there during the fireworks. So we watched it from the hub and basically had an uninterrupted view. Lots of people were sitting down as well, so you could see the projections so clearly. So that made it amazing. I think we've done the dessert party once, and the view for this was even better. So I felt like the ticket price was worth it for that alone.
And it was probably better for the heat, right? Because you said it was smoking hot while you guys were there. I mean, it's been hot in Florida the last month. Jason over in the clubhouse who lives in Celebration, right outside of Walt Disney World. And Pam was down there last week telling us about it too. I mean, the first thing we connected to record the show, she was at Saratoga Springs. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" "It's hot." I've not even seen her say hello. That's all she said was, "It's so hot." I mean, it's been hot down there. So I'd imagine, that's a way to it's got to pay extra, but it's a great way to avoid crowds and avoid the heat and to really maximize your time because you're just rolling through everything.
Yeah, exactly. And in terms of the access to the attractions, the queue times were great. So because of the sprained ankle, even though I had really wanted to try Tron, I decided to skip that.
That's good call.
That was the only thing that had about a half-hour line.
Well, and have you seen how it goes down it latches down on your calf?
Yeah, I thought that's not going to work for me.
I would not mess with anything with it. When you said that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember because that thing it kind of cranks down on your lower leg. Oh my, yeah, and then if it hurt, then all of a sudden, pew, Yeah, but that's a short ride. That would not be a short ride for somebody. It's like, oh my gosh, my ankle's hurting. Yeah. Oh my God, like my heart kind of fluttered when you said that for a second. So I'm like, that'd be a nightmare with a sprained ankle if it got like in the wrong like twist or something. Oh,
yeah.
Good call. I'm glad you didn't write it. Next time, it'll always be there.
Yeah. But yeah, that was really the only long line. The rest of the attractions were pretty much walk-ons. So we did everything. We ended up doing bars like 10 times in a row because they were just kind of waving us through.
Nice. And that one's going away. So, or it's going to be down here for a long time. They're going to be updating it soon. So that's good.
Yeah, I felt like it maybe needed a bit of love because my scores were low and I don't think I was that bad. So
I'm blind as a bat, but I mean, I don't think anybody can see where their dot is. There's a billion dots up there. I think it is project dots, and just be like, yours is somewhere in there.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why we ended up riding it so many times. I was like, I can't have this be my last score.
Yeah, random score. Yeah, 99999. Whatever. Go get another Mickey ice cream bar. You're at the party. Go have fun.
Yeah,
that's how it is. So you'd recommend that. So did you go to more? I think you went to more than one, right? Besides just Magic Kingdom.
We just did the one.
Just the one.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend, especially if you've got limited time, or you're trying to do maybe that more relaxed trip. It worked out really well because the day of the party, we went to the pool, then we went to Ohana for about 3:30 to get a dinner before. Yes. And that's kind of all we did that day. So it worked out really well for kind of a mix of going to the parks, but then relaxing as well.
We talked about this actually last week on I think a listener question show, where when you have a hard ticket event, like a Christmas party or a Halloween party or something like this, having that late lunch or early dinner at one of the monorail resorts, like a Steakhouse 71, a Kona, Ohana, Grand Floridian Cafe, something like that. That's a great hack to kind of be in the area, have a good meal, get your belly full, and then go over to the Magic Kingdom and enjoy your time.
It worked out really well because then, yeah, as you say, you don't need to waste time during the event getting food. And obviously Ohana is a big meal, so we weren't hungry again until maybe 11 when we just had our free Mickey bar and popcorn, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, Scott loves those parties. He does not miss those parties, and he makes the most. I can tell you that. He loves those things. So tell us about some of the other parks you visited, some of the highlights there.
So yeah, because we didn't have much time, the only maybe planning error that we made is we rope dropped the studios the day after the party. So we got back in at maybe 1:30, and then we were at the studios for 8:30.
That's what I call ambitious.
Yeah. We made it. The only thing that we did end up having to do is get an Uber because we didn't get up on time to get the bus.
Nice.
But it was worth the money to get that extra 20 minutes sleep.
Exactly. There's sometimes, I've learned that I'm cheap, but sometimes, you know what? Hey, I'm paying.
Yeah, that's good value. Yeah. So yeah, we were a bit tired, but we made it work. So we had a lightning lane for Rise of the Resistance because Galaxy's Edge wasn't built yet the last time we went. So we knew we definitely wanted to get on that. So that meant we could prioritize Toy Story Land during the early morning extra hours. So that worked out really well. We got Slinky Dog and Toy Story Mania done before the park opened, so that was great. And then it was pretty busy on the day we went, so once the park was open, everything was sort of an hour plus wait. So we ended up just taking in Galaxy's Edge because it was the first time we went there, and getting breakfast at Ronto Roasters and kind of relaxing while everyone else was running onto the first queues.
So what did you guys, I love hearing like first, because it's been a while, but like what were your first impressions of like seeing the Millennium Falcon, seeing the land? I mean, and are you guys big Star Wars fans?
Yeah, we're both Star Wars fans, especially my husband. So yeah, we loved it. It's just so immersive.
I almost cried the first time I saw the Millennium Falcon because it was right. I was 4 years old when Star Wars came out in '77, so it was my childhood, right? And I mean, I had the little toy, the Millennium Falcon. I flew it around as a little kid, and then you walk up on that sucker and it's full size. I'm like, oh my god, it's right here. I still remember that day. I'll never forget it for as long as I live. I hope everybody always has that. I hope everybody of my generation or, younger generations too, that have fallen in love with Star Wars has that experience. I mean, doesn't matter how good you like, how much you like Smuggler's Run, or I think Rise is amazing. I'm not a big simulator guy, so Smuggler's Run, the ride, it's okay. But being in the land and just walking up on the Millennium Falcon, that's all I need. Like, it's just like, oh my God, there's the Falcon.
Amazing. And just the level of detail, just everywhere you turn, that kind of marketplace area.
Yes.
That really blew our minds as well.
Totally.
And we were really lucky, like as we walked into the land, Mandalorian was there with Grogu basically as we arrived. So that was really amazing.
I haven't seen the Mandalorian yet. And I've been to Disneyland too. I just haven't caught him. So, and Grogu, got to catch him too. I've had a ton of breakfast Ronto wraps. Those things are amazing.
So good.
Oh my God.
The other thing I definitely recommend is we split a Ronto wrap, and it was like an overnight oats thing with these pearls that had fruit juice inside them that kind of burst when you eat them. That was really great as well. And it was kind of a good lighter option because we'd had Ohana last night, so maybe we couldn't have done 2 Ronto wraps.
You still had the Ohana hangover.
Yeah.
I get it, man. That stuff's like gets inside you. I've been there many times. Yes, and I'll think about it because I might end up at the studios for breakfast here in the next couple of weeks. So nice. I'll be looking for that. All right, so give us a couple more highlights from the parks. I love hearing about this. Good stuff.
Yeah, so we did Muppets because I'm a big Muppets fan, so that was a priority. I needed to get one last. Yeah, I mean the makeover of my mind's gone blank. Rock and Roller Coaster. That sounds great. So I'm glad we don't lose the Muppets at all. But yeah, Muppet Vision is amazing. So, and it was really nice to see it was packed. So yeah, everyone else was having the same idea as us.
It's packed now that it's going away. Yeah, where were you last year, people?
Yeah,
it was me too. I mean, I always went at least one time a trip, but I'm a nostalgic guy. I mean, I also go to Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. I don't think many people go to. Do you go to Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor? I do. I don't think many people do.
We didn't on this trip, but we were kind of tired and probably not on our A game. And I thought, I know we're going to get picked on for a joke, and I don't want that to happen.
See, it takes kind of person. I don't care if they call me. Like if they do, I'll dance. I'm an idiot. I'll dance or I'll be that guy, whatever.
Yeah. In your introvert versus extrovert show, I was kind of in the middle, but I thought sometimes I'm happy to be picked on, but on that day, no.
I had no idea that people would not go into that show because they were scared to death of being picked. Like it never crossed my mind until we did that show. And I'm like, people like, I will not even look at that. I will not even look right when I walk into Tomorrowland because I'm scared to death of going into it. I'm like, what kind of person would not even go into that? It's so funny. No, I will never go into that. I'm like, okay, we are different people. Anyway, so now did you guys spend some time over at Epcot?
Yeah, so on that day, we finished up at the studios. We did Ogre's Cantina as well. That was really amazing. And did our Rise Lightning Lane. And after that, we got a friendship boat to the Boardwalk Bakery for lunch.
Underrated. I always forgot.
It's underrated. We really loved the boardwalk last time just to wander around, so we knew we wanted to go there. Then we had a midday, well, kind of mid-afternoon break and went to Epcot in kind of late afternoon, mainly to focus on Flower and Garden. Because I hadn't, other than Festival of the Holidays, I hadn't ever seen a festival there, which is probably rare because I know it seems like there's always one.
Say it's usually there's something going on. It's hard to miss a festival, but apparently you're good at it. That's good. It's
so that was great. We kind of made sure we saw loads of the topiaries and tried some of the booths. So if anyone's going, I think the best stuff we ate was there's this Florida strawberry shortcake dessert. Really good. There's a Florida booth that's right by Communicore Hall, so you can get the dessert and then get inside to some air conditioning to eat it.
Two awesome things: strawberry shortcake and air conditioning. God bless America. Boom, right there.
So yeah, recommend that. The other good stuff we had, there's this tostada in Mexico that's like this massive tostada with like beef and guacamole. That was great.
Now you're talking too.
And they have an elderflower margarita. That was also really great.
Rolling. We are rolling right here. That's good.
So yeah, we kind of just relaxed and made our way through different food booths. So that was really good.
So you didn't force your husband on Cosmic Rewind, right? You didn't do that.
No. I'd also listened to everyone saying about how the motion sickness was a possibility.
It gets me, but it doesn't get a lot of people. I think it's very individual, but it does get people. I mean, but your mileage may vary. It will vary. It definitely will vary. Because some people it doesn't touch. I don't know. It's a great ride though.
Yeah, I'm sad we missed it. There were a few times just because of the sprained ankle and the short trip that we missed a few things. But as we were going around, we were just saying, we're hopefully going to come back. I'm sure my dad will listen. And we were saying he needs to do a 70th birthday trip. That's coming up in a few years.
Let's go, Dad. Let's go.
So yeah, if you're listening, we've already decided that's what we're doing.
Oh, he's totally got it. You guys can come over to do the Dopey Challenge. No, just kidding. You don't need to do that. No, just kidding. Dopey Challenges are overrated. I'm over Dopey Challenges, I think, for my life.
I don't know if I have it in me to get up at 2:30 in the morning.
We pay ridiculous amounts of money to get up that early. It's like every time the alarm goes off, I'm like, what am I'm supposed to be on vacation? I'm in Florida. I'm down here where they got all the good food, these fun rides, these great shows, and I'm getting up at 2:30 in the morning to walk out in the middle of a parking lot. What am I? And then I'm running for 5 hours. What am I doing? And there's 20,000 people doing it too. What's wrong with us? I don't know. We're messed up. Anyway, back to that. I want to ask you too. So you guys were down there in doing this kind of. I want to hop back to Rise though, because we didn't get a chance to talk about that. Where would you put Rise as far as that attraction experience against other experiences you've seen in theme parks? What'd you think of that?
No, that really blew our minds in terms of it's like nothing anywhere else. And I'd seen the pictures of the big hall with the stormtroopers and stuff, but somehow managed to stay pretty much spoiler free in terms of what the attraction actually was. So it was worth it. Yeah,
I agree. That's been a long time to stay spoiler free on that one. It's been over 5 years. But yeah, that's a tough one. But yeah, because it's got it's multifaceted, right? You kind of move through different parts of the attraction, but it's so well done. I like that it's a long attraction because we just don't get long attractions anymore.
It was amazing. And my husband was a bit nervous, and I said, I've heard it's not any more intense than a Big Thunder Mountain. It's going to be fine. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And he was, at the end, he was like, I'm so grateful you made me go on this.
Yes. Yeah, every Star Wars fan. That's as close you're going to get to be it in a movie. The Star Tours messes me up. I can't do Star Tours from back in the day.
I can't do Star Tours.
Oh, no way.
It was a walk on. It was a 5-minute wait, and I still just couldn't do it.
Always is. I mean, you can. I want to do it because like it just looks so cool, right? You can walk under the AT-AT. You're in the indoor forest.
Yeah.
It just but I just can't. My daughters can. Everybody can, but me. It's a shame because they don't even love Star Wars like I do.
I can't do the simulator attractions either. So I really wanted to do the Millennium Falcon because just the idea of it is so cool. But yeah, I knew it would just make me sick.
I blame it on Body Wars. I did Body Wars back in the day one time. And I mean, it messed me up because one, that thing was, I swear it wasn't in sync, right? Like the film to the motion, and that gets you even worse. And I'm grossed out by like blood and veins and all that stuff. And so you're watching a movie with you're going through veins and arteries. I mean, that's disgusting to me. Like that's grossing me out like in the first place. And the thing's not seeing, it's my worst nightmare. Like I was like, oh my, and you're closed in a little, cube. Oh my gosh.
I get nostalgic about past attractions as well, but that is not one that I'm sorry to have missed.
Pass. Exactly. That one can just, we can keep that one on the shelf. We can bring that one back. So I saw in your notes too, you guys also did Topolinos.
Yes.
Nice.
So that is obviously a really hard ADR to get hold of.
Hardest, I think, yeah.
And yeah, while I was planning, definitely a shout out to the clubhouse. Everyone was really useful. Everyone was great. So I was disappointed I didn't get that ADR at my 60-day mark. And everyone said, keep checking. It will come up. You'll find one. And we did. So it was great advice. If you just keep, once every few days, look on the app, they do keep popping up. And it was definitely worth it. So we got sat right by one of the windows. So we got a really nice view of the Skyliner. So that was really nice. As a long-time listener, I've heard Ricky talk about the steak and eggs, so I felt like I had to go for that.
I don't know if I take Ricky's advice on dinners. But I mean, you can, I guess.
It really lived up to the hype.
I don't think mine either. I'm a simpleton. I mean, but yeah, maybe Scott. Pam
no, it definitely.
I would go Pam first, Scott second, and then Ricky and me. No, don't follow.
Well, on that occasion, it was a great recommendation. It was really good.
All right, Ricky, you came through. All right.
Yeah, it was really delicious. And our server gave us a tip and said they don't put it on the menu, but with every dish, you get a bonus side dish. So I was kind of debating whether to go for the steak and eggs or the waffles. But a mini waffle could be one of the bonus side dishes. So that's the tip. I would definitely get that. It was, like a waffle with this orange cream and some kind of lavender sauce as well. It was amazing.
It just sounds fancy. I mean, it's Topolino's, right? It has to sound fancy.
It was really fancy, yeah.
Like in my life, a waffle, the only thing I put on a waffle is maple syrup. Like it's Topolino's, it's lavender. I'm like, lavender, but it's Topolino's. It's not maple syrup. Exactly.
But yeah, it was great. And obviously, because it's such a hard ADR to get, I was worried it might feel a bit crowded, but it really doesn't. If you want, you get a lot of time with the characters, and you didn't feel kind of rushed to finish your breakfast. It was a really great experience. It was definitely worth putting the time in to get the ADR.
And that's always good to hear, because that is the toughest ADR, at least probably top 3 for sure, ADR to get. And you always want the experience to meet the work you put into securing the ADR. That like Cinderella's royal table, that you don't want to be disappointed that, I've looked forward to it for so hard, and then I got it and I've been so excited because I secured the ADR, and then the experience doesn't meet the expectation. So I'm glad it did for you. So you would do that again, it sounds like, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So we're getting kind of towards the end of the show here, but any other highlights from the trip that you'd like to share? Like, whether theme park, resort, shows, anything like that you guys saw, anything like special cast member interaction, stuff like that?
Yeah, we really liked the last nighttime show I saw in Epcot was the New Year's Eve version of Illumination. So it was a high bar.
Cannot be topped, ladies and gentlemen. Cannot be topped.
And it didn't beat that, but I did really like Luminous. I thought, so that was really great. We had a really good viewing site, kind of straight on, like in between Spaceship Earth and the lake, kind of halfway. So you got to see, because I don't know if everyone knows, but the lights on Spaceship Earth sync up to the show as well. So it was worth trying to stake out a spot where you could see both.
Nice.
So that was a really great experience. And generally, for anyone worried about going with some mobility issues or some extra needs in terms of that, all of the cast members were so nice. Like, really couldn't fault them at all. We had a really great experience at Peter Pan during the party, where that was the first day that I'd rented the ECV, and I was kind of nervous about driving it through the queue. And it was a half-hour wait. So we talked to her and I said, oh no, thank you, but I don't think, I'm not confident driving it through the queue yet, and half hour is too long for the crutches. And she said, okay, come with me, I can get you onto the ride now. So that was really amazing.
Well, I mean, think about that though. Like, if it's your first day on an ECV, one, Fantasyland is insanity. Like, I wouldn't want to be anywhere around Fantasyland on ECV ever. But like, the Peter Pan queue is super skinny too. Like, I mean, that's like that's what I was worried. First time, if you know anything about skiing, like downhill skiing, it's like putting the skis on for the first time and being like a black diamond run. Like, what are you doing? Like, hello. Like, come on now. But thank God, and I love cast members that read the temperature of the room, right? She read the room. You were kind. Let's this isn't hard. Let's get you on the attraction. It's the right thing.
Yeah. So that was really, that made our night, because it was the one attraction that we had left to go. So that was really lovely. But overall, I think my highlight was just, it was, like I said, it was a bit of a stressful 48 hours leading up to the trip. And there were points where I thought, I don't know if this is going to happen. Am I just going to be in my hotel room in Coronado for the whole time? And then kind of getting onto Main Street and like, I've made it, the trip's happening. That was really amazing.
Well, Becca, I'm so glad the trip happened. You've been smiling the whole time retelling the story, and it's made me so happy, and I'm sure it's made our listeners so happy getting to take a virtual trip down to Walt Disney World. I'm so glad it worked out for you, and we get to interact with you over in the clubhouse. And what a great way to start the week with us here on the show. So thanks for staying up super late with us here on the podcast, and hope to talk to you again sometime. Do you guys have any, I mean, probably unofficially, but you eyeballing any trips here in the not so distant future? Got anything kind of thinking about?
Yeah, unofficially hoping for that maybe 70th birthday trip as a family. But yeah, we've been talking about maybe going to Disneyland Paris later this year or next year to kind of get a Disney fix in between.
Got to do it. Well, thanks again for hanging out with us, and I'm so glad to have you part of the Be Our Guest podcast family.
No, thank you. It's been so fun.
All right. Don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure, whether it's down to Walt Disney World, out to Disneyland, sailing with the Disney Cruise Line, or seeing the world with Adventures by Disney. We'll help you plan that trip for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Just click through that link and it supports our show with each and every purchase. We appreciate that so much. And you can support us on Patreon. It's a very easy way to support the show. $5 a month is all it costs. It's like a cup of coffee a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give me a follow on social media. I'm at beourguestmike on x.com, Instagram, and Threads. And we'll have a live call-in show this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. The phone lines will be open. And Scotty G joins me. We take your calls. We have a good time. So join us. 5 locations: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch. Any of those places, you can tune in and give us a call. And finally, we talked about it. Join our Discord server. It's called the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse. It's free for everybody. Just come on over, hang out with us 24/7. It's like our Cheers. We just hang out, talk Disney, talk sports, talk life, and just have a great time doing it. Come on over today. I'll welcome you personally right there. It's beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. All right, time to get out of here and get back to the grill here. It's Memorial Day or the bank holiday over in the UK. We're both having good days. So until we talk again on Wednesday, for more of your listener questions, I'm Mike here in Missouri, and for Rebecca over in the UK. You guys have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. That was a great show. Thank you so much. That was so much fun.
Oh, no, thank you. That was really fun. Yeah, it's weird as a listener to hear the outro live.
I can do it in my sleep at this point. I'm sitting there watching old Match Game episodes here on like a old app, like old TV show from the 70s. Like, I love your background too, how everything's color coded. Like,
thank you. We moved a few years ago, and like my one criteria is like I want space for bookshelves.
Are those books or what are they?
Yeah, they're books.
That's exactly how my daughter would have her books too. Like, they wouldn't have any kind of like, they'd be like, do you have an author or genre? No.
Yeah, you can't find anything, but it looks good on a Zoom background.
Exactly. She'd be like, yeah, how do you find anything? She'd be like, no, but they look cool. She'd be like, it's aesthetics, man. It's aesthetics. I'm like, she'd be like, it's aesthetically pleasing. That's what she always uses, aesthetically. I'm like, but what if you want to find like this author? What doesn't matter? Like, but it does to me. As a teacher, like, that drive me crazy. But it looked great for a podcast. I'll tell you what. Wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, my pile of books to read is like too big to go back to another one. So that's my excuse.
You need to start with that background. You need to start a podcast. Awesome. Well, Becca, tell your husband Mike congratulations and thanks for letting us stay up late for the show. Appreciate it. I'll see you over in the clubhouse.
Yeah, no, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Go on.
Happy Thursday. I'll see you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. Now, see you guys. Let's see. The next show will be Sunday night for the call-in show. So until then, happy summer, everybody.